Thank you. Wow. It's going to be tough keeping up with the previous presenters. They've raised the bar somewhat. Sorry about the mic outages. You can blame me for that. I'm going to talk about the war on, I was going to talk about the war on terror, and then I changed it to the war on piracy, music piracy, but there's no such thing. So I'm going to talk about the war on music and trends and what's going on in the scene at the moment, and who the real pirates are, and what you can do. Obviously, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the music scene over the last 20 or 30 years. And just to give you a brief introduction to who I am, I run a record label called Invisible Agent. And a kind of a hobby on the side, a passion of mine. So when the Nerd Night crew came and asked me, I was pretty stoked about it. So I've released some vinyl records and some CDs from various artists throughout the world, so I'm a little bit qualified to talk about what I'm about to talk about. So, old school. So as I said, we press some records in 12 inches. Yes, people are still buying 12-inch vinyl and playing it. So after vinyl, skip 20 stops me from ranting, so that's good. Technological advances, who remembers this bad boy beatbox machine? Woo! Yeah, ripping up the hood with that. And then we had a double tape deck, right? So then you could stick a tape in it and stick another one in. And then came high-speed dubbing. And then high-speed dubbing brought this, mixtapes. And it was like there was tapes everywhere and no one really cared, and they couldn't track it, so there was no piracy. It was like, okay, yeah, well, we're still selling records and it's all good. And then after, see, on itself, that's quite good. We had this, home taping is killing music. Yeah. This is from BPI. And they started a pretty big campaign. Tell people, don't copy VHS, don't copy tapes at home. You're killing music. And then, if that's the way, I know this is a parody, but home sewing is killing fashion. I know, I could get shot down for that, but I thought it was pretty funny, so I put it up there. So yeah, you got tapes, and I won't go into the whole CD land of things, but we're going to start talking about music piracy and the trends. Sales are up. Don't believe the papers. It doesn't matter what the hacks say. I'm sorry to the hacks who were here. Album sales are down. On CDs, single sales are up. The figures prove it. MP3 sales are up. Here's a music consumption. I'm just going to show you how music consumption has changed. We have here, I don't know whether you can see it, 76. So vinyl starts going down. There's no internet now. Okay, well, and we have cassette tapes coming in, and then so anyway. Figures don't mean anything, it's all rubbish, don't read anything, you read the papers. We'll pay for food. We're going to take someone who works 160 hours a month at $7.25 an hour, not so much, earning about $1,000 a month, okay? And we're going to look, I hope you can see this next slide, we're going to look at what it would take for you as an artist signed to a major record label to make that kind of money a month. I'm sorry this is so dark, but if you press the CD yourself, you got to sell 143 of them for $9.99 a month, and you can make that money. But as soon as you start moving into an album download, they take about 53 cents out of each $1 download from iTunes and about $5 for an album. So these are the real pirates. The four major music companies, the RIAA, the BPI, any industry rep are the ones who are making this propaganda up. And here's a red herring. Steve Jobs is killing the music industry. Obviously John Bon Jovi isn't really in the studio anymore, so he wants to have a comment. FM radio is a form of piracy, says someone from Music First. The industry is claiming it is entitled to $75 trillion They're suing after they shut down the LimeWire service, 75 trillion, and American judges are going mental about this. So what you can do is give your brain a good scrub, don't be brainwashed, and support indie and local artists. So if you see Clap Your Hands, or Cambodian Space Project, or Lost Proports, or I'm going to forget people, I'm sorry, but if you see them in town and you're not even into their music, buy their t-shirt or buy their CD, because you're supporting artists and their creations. So what can you do next? You can explore various net labels, and you can support Creative Commons. It's where people share music and allow it to be passed on and modified for free. And people say to me, oh, well, it's going to be rubbish if it's free. It's not. You've got to check it out and explore it. Life does not exist on iTunes, it's elsewhere. So Creative Commons, it's not just about music, it's about sharing culture, education. If you're a photographer, if you're a programmer, anything like that, you can use Creative Commons to protect your work, but share it as well. So don't be a chicken. I don't really like Jimmy Buffett, I'm sorry about this, but he was saying there's one thing that's missing, and that's the songs you hear don't last. It's just a product fed to you by the industry. So just make sure that you're aware of that. And then my man Frank Zappa, politics is the entertainment branch of the industry. So thank you very much.